All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, which is the name of the Most High, and Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And this is going to be a video regarding, being lukewarm, man. What is something that's lukewarm? Okay, basically it's like a mixture between, it's not necessarily warm, but at the same time, well, you know what, let's even say that. All right, it's not necessarily something that's hot, but it's also not necessarily something that's cold, right? It's lukewarm. It's somewhere in the middle, if that makes sense. Okay? And that's not how we're supposed to be in this thing of ours, man. Scriptures say, if any man comes to the Lord, he has to believe on him as he is. Okay, so we can't be playing games with this thing of ours, as Elder Apostle Gabar coins it, which of course is sincere, shalom, right, and double honors to the apostles, a great millstone. But yeah, as Elder Apostle Gabar coins it, man, this thing of ours, we got to be fully persuaded, man. Okay, we really have to believe that Yahweh is going to send his son Yahweh Shai to redeem us from out of this captivity which we find ourselves in, here in Babylon, the great America, and wherever we might be dwelling on the earth today, man. All right, because you have brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, right, all over the world we are at. Primarily in America, though, because that's where, majority of the brothers who were, brought over here, during the slave trade, right, of the 1600s. That's another video in itself, but, getting back to the topic, man. We can't be lukewarm in this thing, right? You got to give this thing your all, man. Okay, now every man's lot is different, and we're going to go into that. My lot is not the same as your lot. Your lot's not the same as my lot, right? Regarding our abilities to push the truth. Say, for an example, right now, I can't really be out on the highways and byways. Is it because I'm not going out because I decided not to? No, the reason why I can't is I don't own my own vehicle, right? So I can't get around, to go places to teach. I did what I could, since I was 15, I started to go out. But, I do what I can. Okay, I wish I could do more, but hey, that's my lot. So I'm doing the best, of my ability to push out this word on the YouTube, which is the platform the Lord set up, for us to use in these last times. Because the internet is how we all came into this truth. I would say at least 98% of us. Okay, we heard this online. And then we, started to learn by watching the videos online, right? So the Lord set this platform called YouTube up, so we could learn, right, and push these videos out, to get our message throughout the entire world, right? Teaching on the highways and byways is good, but doing YouTube is even better because, you can fellowship with brothers on there, right? And you can connect with people all over the world. I had one brother the other day who said, shalom from I believe it was Tokyo, right? And that's across the world, man. So that shows you that our voice is being heard throughout the entire world, man. And that's in the scriptures. The scriptures tell you what? That when this message is preached in all the world, then will the end come. And that shows you that Christianity isn't the truth, right? The doctrine of the Christian church, because they've been saying that for thousands of years. And the end hasn't came yet, but this Hebrew Israelite thing has only been going out since the, I want to say it's been around since the 60s, right? But it's, primarily since the 80s on to now is when it, was, may I say, somewhat gaining in popularity, if that makes sense. Let me see, we're going to get into the precepts. Okay, but we want to be hot in this thing, right? You don't want to be cold, okay? But you, more importantly, don't want to be lukewarm. Okay, that's a no-no right there. Right? You can't be in between, right? It's either you're hot, meaning you're for this truth, or cold, you're against the truth. It's very simple. Okay, you can't be something in between, right? Just as, for an example, dealing with gender, there's no such thing as a she-male, right? Something that's in between. It's either a male or female, right? You can't be in between, right? So this thing of ours, you have to either be hot, meaning you're for this, or you got to be cold, meaning you're against it. You can't be in the middle. Let's see, let's go to Revelation chapter 3, And let's start at verse. Bear with me a moment. 15. All right, Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou were cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Let's read that again, Revelation 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou were cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold or hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Right. So, the Lord, Yahushua, said he would rather you be either cold or to be hot. Right. So we want to be hot, meaning what? That you're deep into this truth. Right. And I'll give an example, man. You have the one brother out there, which I, call him up every once in a while. Brother Dasan, right, which, of course, in sincere, shalom to that brother. You can probably find him in the comment section, within a couple of days from the, video when it's been uploaded. You can go subscribe to his page. But, that brother's, on fire for this truth, man. He's putting up video after video, man. That brother's pretty much all the way through to reading the entire Bible already. Yeah, that brother's on fire for this truth, man. All right? So, hey, you have brothers like that, which are on the right-hand side, as mighty God would say, right? On the right-hand side of the Lord, right? Doing things which are good. But then you have guys out there like Rock Upon Him or the Vigilant Soldier, who, which if you got to be, long-time viewer of our channel to know who those people are, like a good 4 years or so. But those guys, they were in this truth. They were, testing the waters. They knew a little bit, not a whole lot. They knew a little bit of the truth, but then they got sucked out of the of this word, right? They went back into the world, like what's that guy? The Vigilant Soldier. He pretty much went off on to college, right? That's what he went to do. And Rock Upon Him went to go play video games, right? To go play Resident Evil with his life. Okay, fun fact, by the way, me and Rock Upon Him, we know each other in real life, right? We've done videos together before, but that just shows you, man, that, hey, look, if the Lord don't want you, that he's going to sift you, man. All right, you're going to get sifted from this thing, right? You had brothers who came into this thing of ours, and over the years, they fell out, man. All right, we don't want to be like those guys. Bear with me a moment. Let's go to the book of Matthew, the 25th chapter. All right, Matthew 25, and we'll start at bear with me a moment. Let's start at verse 14. All right, Matthew 25 and verse 14. It says, For the kingdom of Yahweh is as a man traveling into a far country, who called unto his servants and delivered them unto them goods. And said and unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and to every man according to his serving ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time the Lord of those servants returned and reckoned with them. And so he that had received the 5 talents came and brought forth 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I gain besides them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee a ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Though there thou hast that which is thine. And the Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, that knowest that I reap where I sow not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should receive mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give unto him which have 10 talents. For unto every one that have shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away even that which he has. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, what is that a parable of? That's a parable regarding this truth. Okay, and real quick, just to prove that, let's go back up to the reward that these servants got, and we're going to make a correlation. Let's see, I'll pick verse 21. It says, His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Right, so he was going to make him ruler over many things. Now let's make a correlation real quick to show it. That's talking about the Lord's servants, right, the elect. Let's go to Revelation chapter 2. Bear with me a moment. And we'll start at 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. Right, so it's clearly the same thing, right? To the elect, if you overcome, then you're going to gain power over the nations. Right, so it's literally the exact same thing that we're reading about, right? The servant was, and if you read, I believe it's in Matthew, it's the same story reiterated, but it says be a ruler over 10 cities, right? Or be a ruler over 5 cities. That's what it says, and you can read that yourself. I believe that's in the book of Matthew or Mark. It reiterates the story, and actually says be ruler over this many cities, right? So it's literally the exact same thing. Let me see. I will get a good one. Or say, look, man, when you come into this thing of ours, you gotta count the cost, man. Or you gotta count the cost. When you come into this this truth, okay, because you're gonna bad things are gonna happen to you, okay, in this walk of ours, man. Bear with me a moment. Let's go to the book of, go to Luke, the 9th chapter, and verse 62. It says, And Yahushua said unto him, No man having put his hands to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh. Right, so, if you come into this truth, there's this thing of ours, and seek your past life, and go back to it. Well, then, hey, man, that's going to be, hey, the scriptures say him that knew the truth and turned back from it, he's going to be beaten with many stripes. Let me get a drink real quick. Right, so, it would be better, to have never even, took part in this thing of ours, right? To never even, look into coming into the truth to begin with. Okay, because them who knew the truth and turned back from it, they're going to be hit with many stripes. Bear with me a moment. Right, so you really, you got to take this thing of ours seriously. All right, this truth has to be taken very seriously, man. All right, this ain't no light thing right here. Okay, this truly is life or death right here, man. So, hey, we can see that, things that are happening right now are showing us that Yahushua, right, the world calls Christ, is, clearly on his way back, right? Yahushua is coming back. So, why we have this opportunity, to get right and, repent from our evil, doings and, to get right with the Lord, we should take advantage of that. right? Take advantage of the opportunity which you have. Okay, because truly we have a great opportunity which is presented to us here. All right, because hey, look, we're fighting for a reward. There is a reward to all this, and that's what is that? That's Matthew the 19th chapter, right? Christ told the apostles, hey, look, you're gonna gain power over the nations. You're gonna sit on thrones, and you're gonna judge the nations. That's the reward that we want. But in order to get that reward, you have to put in the work, which is doing these lessons, teaching on highways and byways, whatever you can to the best of your ability. Oh, studying, that's burdensome. Okay, to take time out of the day to study, right? That's, a lot, I mean, hell, man, according to studies, the average American does not even read one book a year. You know what I'm saying? So, the fact that I can read 6 books a year, including the Bible, that shows you, man, all right, putting time into study. All right, that's, something that is most certainly needed. That's how you learn. You can watch videos, right? You can study by doing that. You got to read for yourself. That's how you truly learn. Let's go to Matthew 24. And we'll go to verse, bear with me a moment. Verse 44. It says, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour that ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right, and that represents these guys who got weak in this thing of ours, man. Right, these guys who fell out of the truth. All right, and that goes into the, the parable of the wheat and the tares, right? And the parable of the seeds. I believe, what is that? That's Matthew the 13th chapter. But yeah, man, when you heard this word, if you were inspired, and deeply looked into it, and, and followed after Yahushua, got with the brotherhood to the best of your ability, then, hey, look, well, you took the truth seriously, man, compared to these other guys in the world who might have came into it for a couple months and something else drawed them away, right? Or, eventually, when persecution arises, and it even mentions this in the text when you read the parable yourself, which I'm not going to get it for the sake of time, but you can read it, Matthew 13, where it says what? That when tribulation arises, for the sake of the word, they turn from it, right, and forsake it. In fact, when, Christ was, being crucified, I believe it was Peter, right? Peter denied the Lord 3 times. Okay, he was there telling the Lord, hey, look, I'll never, forsake you. I'll never turn on you. But the Lord told him, hey, look, when they come to take me, you're going to deny that you even knew me. And that ended up coming to pass. And you can read about that. I believe that's, let me see, I believe that's Matthew the 26th chapter. All right. Bear with me a moment. It might be the 27th chapter. You can look yourself, but that's going to be the end of the lesson, right? I just wanted to, give a couple thoughts on that. Okay, that in this truth, right, in this thing of ours, as Apostle Gabar, coins it, we have to be hot in this thing, right? And hey, look, if you're not sure, then hey, look, you either got to be hot, or you got to be cold, which basically is symbolic of what? Meaning you're either in this thing or you're not in this thing, right? In this truth. Okay, you can't be, have one foot in the world, man. Which again, it's symbolic, it's not literal, right? And of course, that doesn't mean that, say for an example, if a business opportunity comes up, that doesn't mean you can't take it. Yeah, if you can take it, then certainly go for it, right? And that doesn't mean that you have to put off, goals you have in the world. That means, hey, look, if you can, then go for it. The scriptures speak about, those who use the world but don't abuse it, right? If you can find an opportunity to advance yourself in the world, then go for it. Okay, but if that goes against the word, then don't do it. And I'll give an example. These jobs out here, if there's a job that you have to take, but they require you to shave your facial hair, then hey, then don't go for it. Or if there's a job that says you can work here, we'll pay you good wage, but in order to work at this establishment, you got to take the the juice inside you. You know what I'm talking about? Then hey, don't do it then, because that goes against the scriptures. So things like that, you got to take into account. But anyway, that's gonna be the video there. I just wanted to give that video some thoughts out there for you newer brothers in this thing of ours. All right, so of course I'm gonna end the video off by giving all praise to Yahweh and to His Son Yahweh Shai for this truth, and I'm gonna say shalom.